Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. So it's no secret that when you're wanting to collect something or invest in something, you're wanting to wait till interest has left that side of the hobby. You're wanting to wait until that card or that item starts to trend downwards and find its bottom, and that's when you want to move in. The time to sell is when all the interest and hype and FOMO comes back in that area of the hobby or that card, and things start to go to the moon and hit their highs, and that's when you want to get out. The only issue is, as we know, as collectors, as investors, there's no way to predict the exact bottom and the exact top. But there is ways we can get close, right? And that's what I see happening with a lot of these alt art cards now. We are seeing them hit their 1 year, 52-week lows. And I know a lot of people will say, well, things are going to keep going down. Things are going to get worse. They could. I'm not saying they are. I'm not telling you to FOMO and jump in all the alt arts. However, if these are cards you're wanting to pick up, this is the time to start watching these and possibly the time to start picking them up because you're never going to hit the bottom. And when things have dropped in, 30, 40, 50%, some of these, that's usually time where it could be overly negative on the card. A lot of these cards are very rare. They're 1 in over 500 packs. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about a lot of these in the beginning of the video. In the end of the video, I'm going to show you some of the XY and Sun and Moon era top hit cards and show you how they've been performing lately. And not only that, how they performed after the boom. Because it's a lot of the same of this alt art boom. We've seen a lot of these cards hyped up during the 2021 pandemic, and then everything got the wind let out of its sails and dropped down and found, higher lows than they were before, but new lows. And they sat there for a little while in 2022. Anyone who picked up a lot of those XY full art secret rares, any of those tag team from Sun and Moon, a lot of other Sun and Moon cards, you did extremely well. We've seen a lot of those surpass their pandemic level highs now. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people don't like to talk about this. There is such a thing as timing the market. If you're in tune with these markets, same thing with the stock market, you can find, better times to buy than others. And this may be one of those times with alt arts. So let's go ahead and jump into this, show you what I'm talking about. But first, got to give a shout out to CantoShark.com, today's video sponsor. And people say, Alex, why do you promote these other companies if you sell cards yourself? It's easy. I don't sell all the same cards as them. They may have some that overlap with me and we might be competitors, but mostly we have different inventories. And so if you're looking for certain cards, I may not have them. They may. So guess what? They got it all broken down for you. They got a whole section dedicated to all you vintage collectors. So you can go and check those out. They got a section dedicated to just modern collectors and they got everything. They got, pristine 10s, black label 10s. They got PSA 10s and everything in between. They have a Japanese section for all you Japanese collectors. I really don't have any Japanese cards, so there you go. It's a reason to check out CantoShark. And then last, they have the sealed product section. They have everything from vintage to modern, packs to boxes, graded. It doesn't matter. So guys, maybe you'll find something you like there. Make sure to check out CantoShark Marketplace. Link in the description below. Let's jump into this. So first off, I'm going to show you some of these alt arts, some of the price points they're hitting. And then I'm going to show you how some of the other cards in XY Sun and Moon performed after the pandemic. So you can get an idea of what's possible when things are at their lows. And then, I'll leave some links in the description in the comment section if you do want to, pick anything up now. Look, I'm not saying to FOMO. I'm not saying this is the bottom. I'm saying it could be. And at very least, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on at this point. So Tyranitar V, first up, Battle Styles. This hit highs up in the, 1 teens. And now it is listed at $85. Massive drop. You can see the chart doesn't even do it justice. The charts haven't even updated. This is lower than its 52-week low. Very low. Blaziken, top hit in Chilling Rain. You can see this chart doesn't do it justice as well. It shows it up here in the 160s. It's actually in the 140s, past its 52-week low. This saw heights up in the 220s. We are almost at 50% drop now, people. That's usually a time when things may be overly negative. Maybe time to pick some of these up. Just saying. Moltres V, also from Chilling Rain. We saw highs up in the 140s raw, and now we are seeing this listed in the 1 teens, around its 52-week low. Machamp V from, this is from Astral Radiance. All right, same type of thing. Saw highs up in the 120s. We are seeing this card listed in the 70s. In the 70s for an alt art. I mean, it's absolutely crazy and well at its 52-week low. The Umbreon, Moonbreon from Evolving Skies. Look at that. It's actually holding up not terrible. it is selling still around $500 in the high 490s. So it's a little off its 52-week low, but still very low, way off its 600s highs we saw middle of the year. Rayquaza VMAX, also from Chilling Reign. Same thing. This was in 300s. This was a $300 card. You can pick this up for 240s. All right, so 20% drop. It's at its 52-week lows. So these are at its their year lows, people. The Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike. This one is one of the few, the proud, right? It is not seeing those massive drops. It is in the 170s, so this chart doesn't really do it justice. It shows it in the 190s. So it's up here in the 170s. So it's not at its 52-week lows. We saw this card in the 150s. So it's definitely off those, but it has seen a drop from its tops. Hey, Gengar, the man. He's holding up. He's holding up the alt art market all by himself. But so it's still a drop of its highs. So if you were waiting on it, it still could be a pickup. The Espeon from Fusion Strike as well. It's not holding up like the Gengar is. It's all highs in the 160s. You can pick up in the 1-teens. The 1-teens. It's like a 30+% drop. 52-week low easily. This chart shows it in the 130s. Well past that, deep into its 52-week low. The Charizard V from Brilliant Stars, straight down this year. It's actually about a $100 card now. You can pick up a Charizard alt art for like $100. So yeah, this is going for almost 200. We're seeing a 50% drop, 40 to 50% drop in Charizard. Just saying, could be time to start picking it up. Could be time to at least start adding it to your watch list. Because I don't know how much lower these goes. Hey, here it is, Pokemon Go. It's all trash, Alex. Alex is an idiot. He bought Pokemon Go. But this Mewtwo, guys, I know Pokemon Go is it's down, right? It's not performing well at all. But this card, this art, to pick it up for $15, I don't know where you can go wrong. I don't know how much lower a card like this can go. It's a Mewtwo. I mean, after all, $15, it's at its 52-week low. It was at 30, so we're, about a 50% drop. I mean, you get to a point with some of these, I don't know how much lower they can go. If you're looking to buy any of these for your collection, $15, it might be time to pick one up now, I'll be honest with you. Aerodactyl V, all right, this is going to be from Lost Origin, second best hit in Lost Origin. This is down in the, 90, 80s, 90, about $90. This was a $130 card. It's at its 52-week low. The Giratina, also from Lost Origin. Now, you remember this card. It was up in the 300s raw before the reprint. Now, the reprint will say, still 52-week low. This is showing it in the 250s. It's past that. It is 52-week low. The reprint's drying up. I'm sure we're still seeing a lot of singles start to come on the market from it. We'll probably see more graded cards, so it could go lower. But again, with that big of a drop, it's time to keep an eye on it. The same story with Lugia. Same reprint, same all that. Again, though, this was a $230, $40 card raw. Now it's $117, $118. That's over a 50% drop. That's huge, people. It's a Lugia, for God's sakes. Could it go lower? Always. But, if you're looking to buy it for your collection, build a position, these are the things you want to look for. Now you're saying, Alex, are singles really a good investment? I'm back and forth on that because I can't say singles as a whole are a good investment, but you can time the market very well on singles if you know what you're doing. I've done that recently with a lot of X, Y, and Sun and Moon cards. I've done very well. I've actually been selling them into the upturn and making very, very good gains on some of them. I'm making 100% plus gains. So I'll show you some of the cards I'm talking about, and this will give you an idea of how other top hits in other eras have done. So you can see kind of, when things are down, the top hits may be the things to pick up. So here's the Flash Fire Secret Rare Charizard, okay? So here's the big boom, right? 2021. Everything went to the moon, okay? Then things crashed and went up. So here's the PSA 10. There's not a lot of sales. That's why you see this real blocky chart. So I'm going to take the PSA 10 away. All right, here's the raw and the PSA 9. So the raw, the nines, we saw, bounce up in the 500s during the pandemic. And then they came down and found themselves in the low 200s, even under 200 at some of the lows. And now we've seen them, catching back up. We've seen some drops lately in the 250s, but they were up in the 400s, back in the 400s. So, literally you could have made 100% profit. And look at the raw. If you're not a grader, look at the raw. The raw, it was up in the hundreds, came down. We saw these drop in the 40s. Like, look at that, 16. I think that's too low, but in the 30s and 40s. 30s and 40s. Look, they're back up in the hundreds. back up in the low mid hundreds. We're talking 100, 200% gains on a raw card just because you picked it up after all the hype had left and after the interest had went down. Same thing with the full art Gengar from Phantom Forces. Look at this. Here's the pandemic highs. All right, oh, this is the PSA 9. Let me get the PSA 10 up there. It's going to be more of that blocky chart too. You know, it's real up and down. You can't really tell. But here's the pandemic highs, right? $800 for a 10. Guess what? It's higher now, $1,300. All right, get that blocky chart. 10's out of the way. Look at the 9s. It saw its height during the pandemic at $200. Okay, guess what? It's selling like a 250. I think we saw sales in like the 270s, 280s for a while, but it's at or higher than its pandemic highs. And if you'd have bought when no one wanted it, this dropped back in the hundreds. So very huge gains to be had. Same thing with the raw. You could have bought this raw back here in the 30s. Now it's selling in the 50s. So almost 100% gains on the raw card. All right. Now going into obviously the tag teams. All right. The PSA 10 topped out in the pandemic, right? In the, I don't know, 300s. We saw highs now in the 900s. Even if I take the PSA 10 away, you can see the same type of thing. We saw heights of the 9 and 150. The 9's in the 200s, mid 200s now. We saw heights in the raw cards back in the $50 during the pandemic. Guess what? Now they're in the high 100s, triple your money. I mean, the same story goes for the Latios card team up. I mean, you guys know that story. It hit like in the $1,000 back in the pandemic, 1,200 pandemic or 1,600 pandemic highs. Now we saw, 3,000, post-pandemic highs in the 2023 time. Same story goes for the 9s and the raw. They're all higher than they were back then. And here's the Arceus Dialga Palkia card. We saw the highs in the 10 and 600s, dropped off. No one wanted it. It was in the 200s, mid 200s. No one wanted it. Just like now with the alt arts. Boom. Interest came back, hit the 800s, could have tripled your money. Same thing goes for the raw and the PSA 9. We don't have to look at the 10. All right. The raw, okay, it was in the 70s, dropped down. No one wanted it. It was in the 30s. Now look at this. The raw cards in the hundreds. I mean, literally 4x your money. Same goes for the 9. So, guys, this is what's possible. This is what's possible buying into things when no one else wants them, when there's no interest, when things are dropping, they're at 52-week lows. Now, look at some of these charts. I'll go show you some of these again. All right, because everyone's always asking, well, Alex, could they go lower? Of course they can go lower. Let me find a good example, right? When you bought in and things went lower. All right, perfect example. So let's say you things started coming down and we're right here. Say we're right here with the alt arts, right? Say it's, $300 and we're like, things have already dropped from 535. They've dropped like 80% or something. This might be a pickup. Maybe it is, right? And you pick it up and then, oh man, it went lower. It's down to 200s. I'm like, hey, investing is a long-term game. This is back in 2021. It's a 2-year hold and you're back up in the 4 and 500s. Okay. So 280, right? You were down a little bit. Now you're in the 4 and 500s. You made 40% gain in a couple years. So with all types of investing, have that long-term mindset, even in singles, even when you're trying to time the market. You're not going to time it perfectly, but getting in when things have reached a 52-week low, when we've seen 30, 40, 50% price drops, those are the times when you want to be looking to move into things. And so, a lot of these alt arts, it may be time to start looking for that collection or for that position building purpose. Let me know what you think in the comment section of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet. And hope you all enjoy your weekend. My name's Alex. This is Nostalgianomics. I'll be back here in a new video soon. I'm out.